Well, welcome back into the mid-Norfolk garden. We've had some real thunderstorms over the weekend here. Typical late May bank holiday weekend weather, but the garden's now getting bathed in some gorgeous evening sunshine. And it's done the garden good, to be honest. We were ready for a bit of rain. You can see we've had the hose pipe out earlier in the week, just trying to give things a little bit of a drink. They've been absolutely drenched now, so it was a complete waste of time. But it's looking very good, this border. It's really starting to fill in. These verbenas really growing nicely. We've got some lovely upright square stems, and then these little pinky red flowers. Can I get a focus on that? Don't think it's going to, but they're absolutely very striking and architectural. It's important not to cut these back too early. Otherwise they do tend to get knocked back by the frost. Wait till you see some growth emerging from those. Foxgloves in this border at this time of year are really looking fantastic. Not a single one purposely sown. They've all come up as self-seeded plants, and they're supporting this white block of delphinium really well. It's a really good combination planting that. Colours complement each other very nicely, but also prevents us having to put too much in the way of supports for the delphiniums. They are planted incredibly close with companion plants, roses, the foxgloves, a little bit of tansy coming up the back. And the whole combination is just supporting itself. Base of this little gravel walkway that separates the borders is this catmint. 6 Hills Giant rewards us every year with a mass of flowers between now, and we will cut this back later once the first flush is over. It will give us a second flush late into autumn. But that's an absolute winner for the bees who flock to this throughout the summer months. Iris bed just in front of the old pool house. Ooh, some of the later varieties just finishing now, but the Siberian Irises really at their peak. We've got quite a few different varieties planted around this garden. This is one of the ones we've propagated extensively, one of the more common colour combinations. You get close up to these things so you really do appreciate the absolute beauty of these flowers held en masse. If you can get a clump like this established, they need dividing every 2 or 3 years to keep them really growing well. They tend to die out from the centre of the clump if they become congested. And this lot's looking very happy with an underplanting of chives and a bit of oxide just self-seeding in there. Cerciums just starting in this border now. Flowering thistle. Again, magnet for the bees. Absolutely loving this plant. And it will flower well here, probably right until the end of July before we cut it back down. I'm starting to look at the peonies which are coming out now. I'd forgotten this white one. It's planted in here, doing very well. Good sized crown. Plenty of buds coming up. Just look at that head. Again, you do have to watch these, not having to give it any support because it's so compactly planted in between these cerciums and a rose. I'm not sure what that one is, but again, the roses in this border just starting to flower and looking very healthy. More catmints, self-seeded bronze fennel coming up there. This is our favourite astrantia, the really dark red one. Again, this seeds really well for us, and we've spread it throughout these borders. Flowers beautifully at this time of year. More old-fashioned roses coming up, and the Philadelphus that was moved. 2 of them survived, this one and the one in the matching back border here. Again, flowering really beautifully at this time of year. Let me show you the name of this little annual seedling. I say it's annual, I think it's a half-hardy really. Seeds all over the gravel in this area. You can see The gravel acts as an absolute wonderful seed bed. We've got masses of seedlings of geranium coming up all over. There's a young example of the plant I've just shown you. Again, plenty of these. Look at it, just hundreds of little seedlings coming up through this gravel. Acts as a wonderful reservoir for young plants where we do have problems and want to replant. Kate's been, what have you got there?
Been doing plant rescue.
Mainly oxeye daisy seedlings, isn't it? And a little bit of...
this thing, I can't remember what it's called.
It's like a tansy, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's what's that pink thing in the border? I can't remember its name.
No.
It's kind of naturalises itself everywhere. A lot of oxeye daisy.
A lot of oxeye.
And some sisyrinchiums.
Baby sisyrinchiums. Good stage to prick those out and get them established, isn't it?
Oh, brilliant, yes. And otherwise they're just going to get raked out, so...
Yeah.
I'm just rescuing them. And these things are brilliant. Look,
I know, I've just shown those little seedlings. And they're looking so wonderful around the
have that one.
pigeon trough. Bees love these things as well. Must be full of nectar. Really enjoying it. Let's go back to the borders, have another look, see what we've got coming up in here. That's a nice bright cerise daisy, I think. More delphiniums coming up, quite low in the back of this border. And the last of the giant aliums, again, just flowering fantastically behind that. And then as I walk round this aspect, I've got the cedar Morton Joy forming a full low hedge. Yeah, he's making the most of a little bit of evening sunshine. It's absolutely drenched, poor little thing. Peonies interplanted with these aliums will flower a little later than if they were in full sun. They're on the eastern aspect with the hedge facing west behind them. So they get sun most of the morning and through into the evening. And this long arch of roses is again interplanted with a few clematis that just trickle flowering. It'll be another couple of weeks before the main flowering season of these old ramblers comes into its own. I found something interesting just round this corner. Great thing about ramblers is they're so easy to propagate, and we did just that by bringing one of these stems down into the soil last year. Let me see if I can find it again. Oh yeah, here we go. Right, so there's the stem that was brought down, and it just naturally embedded into the earth. And what we've got coming up here are these two massive fresh growths. There's the second from this. I'm going to not move it now because it's got this foxglove right to the next to it, but we've got a really healthy new growth of this rambling rose ready to go into a new position. It can't stay there obviously because it's just 6 inches from the edge of the lawn, but the rose itself been growing here for probably 50 or 60 years, and it's so easy just to get it to root by just digging a stem into the ground, and there you are, a new plant. Now, one final thing we're going to show you, because they're just at their very best, is the Jack's Lemon Iris border, which was my project for the end of last season, to put this into a single varietal bed of irises, 3 rows, planted quite late. I didn't get around to it when I should have done, but haven't they done well? Got this lovely planting. Only about 50% of them, I estimate, are flowering this year. So next year, we've taken a bit of a battering from the rain, as you can see. We should have double this volume of flower on the top. And of course, these rhizomes will then grow away over the next few years and give us an absolute enormous volume of plant material. It's one of my favourite irises of all time. Absolute stunner. And with the evening light just catching these blooms. What a fantastic planting. I'm really proud of that. It's done really well. and surprised me by flowering so well this season. Oh, we've got a few things to show you that we haven't got around to in this garden tour. Got plenty coming on in the next couple of weeks, but it's really coming to its very peak at this time of year, and all this rain, although it can be problematic for the big flowered peonies and the aliums and some of the big old-fashioned roses that we do love growing here. Generally this is ideal growing conditions. So thanks for watching, and do check back next week when we'll show you the peak of what's happening in this garden in mid-Norfolk. Thanks for watching.